to this point, have women's pro baseball in the U.S. once again. And we had a little bit of a rain delay, but the storm is really coming up next with these two teams going head-to-head.
And I love seeing the generations of baseball where you saw the young, the youth, and then all the way up to the players here today. And there, take a look at the manager for the Queens, Eric Young. He played for LA, the LA Dodgers, and now he will be managing here for the Queens. 15 seasons in the big leagues, and most of us know him with the Rockies. He's the career stolen base leader for the Colorado Rockies, and he will love the team that he has because there's a lot of speed here with the Queens. Leading things off will be Monet Davis. She's right there taking some warm-up swings. And look at that lineup. When we talk about the speed, too, Lansdale, she loves to run. She's aggressive on the base pass. And this lineup is just loaded, Jenna.
Oh, so many recognizable names in women's baseball here for LA. Monet Davis leading off, but Ashton Lansdale, keep an eye on her. She was the 7th pick overall. She had a monster World Cup in the group stage for Team USA just a couple of weeks ago. She was the most outstanding player, hit .846 with 14 RBIs, just 5 games. So she's somebody to circle, especially because she's also been named the captain for LA. She hosts the WPBL podcast as well, so she might be from Atlanta, but we can call her Hollywood, I think, from now on.
We might just do that. She loves wearing her pearls. She says, pearls for the girls. And look at how she decorates with one of her cheeks. She has the crown on it, too, for the Queens. So, yes, definitely keep an eye on for Lansdale. She, like you said, 846. Who hits 846? Wow. I spoke with her, too, during the World Cup that week of group stage play, and I was like, she didn't play. She played the first game, but she didn't start the first game. And she got in late, and then after that, she exploded. And Ashton was just laughing about it. She's like, yeah, you got to start me. And that's, she said, I think that ignited a fire in me. So let's see what ignites a fire in her here tonight. I saw her when she was next to Kelsey Whitmore for the ceremony, and Whitmore had to kind of look at Lansdale and get some support because Kelsey was just kind of wiping a little tears away. I think everyone got a very emotional for these opening ceremonies.
Yeah, Ashton Lansdale has been an ambassador for the league as well. And every player really involved with this league has talked about they're playing for the younger versions of themselves.
All right, well, we see the starting pitcher here for the New York Kites. It's the righty on the hill, picked 11th overall, Rak Young Kim. She is inspiring in her own ways, is that she's inspiring for players because her career actually changed rules in South Korea. We'll talk a lot about her during the game. I know, Jenna, you'll bring up a lot of stats with her and things that she did, but just look at that right now. The first woman player to hit a home run in the Korean Men's College League. So today, look for Kim, and I know it's going to be fun. Some of these players, they know each other well, and they're on the opposing side. Even Sato, who will be the opposing pitcher here against Kim, said, don't give away any of my secrets now that you're on another team, because they have played together in the past.
Understandably so. Rak Young Kim, the 11th overall, and she just has experience. We'll see a fastball, curve, slider, and cutter from her today.
And you can see right there, Kim on the hill. Benitez will receive her at first base. It's Studer, Izumi at second, Perez at short, and Willem at third base. Left to right in the outfield, we have Ibarra, Lee, and Yanatani. So a very strong defense. And I know we've talked so much about the emotions. We're trying to dry our tears because it's just an emotional time to see women play baseball. You can see my voice is going to start to quiver at this point, too. So disclaimer, it might quiver at certain times during this broadcast. But these women are athletes, they're good ball players, and this defense is a strong one.
Well, they say there's no crying in baseball, but I think happy tears are allowed in this case, and we saw a ton of it around the stands for the players and everybody involved in this league on the field and opening ceremonies, understanding what this moment is. So many firsts, every first, most of it, at least, we will see today, most likely, and it's just history in the making.
here's some new rules that we will have a little bit different, here in the WPBL. Not much different, though. A 30-game season with 4 teams. All games, as we mentioned before, were played right here at historic Robin Roberts Stadium. Now, the 4 teams will all make the playoffs in September for that first round. But that championship, there's going to be a fight for that title, that trophy. And I actually got a sneak preview of that trophy. It is remarkable, majestic, and it has a very special meaning. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that later. Now, our regulation game is going to consist of 7 innings, and it'll be official after 4. We need 12 out. So, depending on weather and all. And we've got the lights on here. Our weather is good right now. Players, they can use a metal, composite, or wood bats. I talked to some of the players before the game over as they were taking BP in the cage, and so far nobody, I think, is going to try the wood bat. They're like, if we can get an advantage with a metal bat, or we're going to do that, especially with these short fences. Well, the DH is optional. 2-way players are allowed. Now, defenses are limited to 3 mound visits. So there are some differences, but most, we've played with those in international play, and it won't be so unfamiliar. But everything else, you can steal away here. We've got everything else the same, and right now, Kim is taking some more warm-ups here. There's a lot of wind. It's gusting out you can see in center field with the flag blowing left to right. As I mentioned, the lights are on. We're getting ready for first pitch. We had a slight rain delay. It's about 72 degrees. It drizzled for quite some time today. I got drenched, but I wanted to go out and talk to some of the players and see them in BP. But we are ready to go here. The fans are going to stand. I think I'm going to stand, too, as we await this first pitch. So Kim on the mound, the righty. She'll be throwing to Monet Davis. Davis, first-round pick here for the Queens, drafted 10th overall. So Kim, from the third base side of the rubber, she'll set way up high on her chest, kick, and deliver the first pitch. There's a swing and a miss. It'll tap in. We're just stepping right into history here.
And it looks like a conversation with the home plate umpire out there with Young Kim. And we have to wait a little bit longer for the official first pitch moment to sink in. But switching the ball out there.
I think they just took that as a little ceremonial to get the pitch in. And here we go. So no balls and a strike. She takes that pause way up high. That's a lot of balance you have to have. There's a ground ball, shortstop. It'll be bobbled by Perez, and safe at first base is Davis. So Monet getting on base, the first base runner here for the Queens, and first in WPBL history.
And Monet Davis, it's been years since she has played competitive baseball. She was a darling in the Little League World Series back in 2014. Didn't imagine then that she could pursue this as a profession, and here she is getting on for the first time in the WPBL.
All right, so Davis at first base, none away. The second batter here for the Queens is Ashton Lansdale, the third baseman we mentioned, batting .846 in just 5 games. Didn't even start all 5 of those with the World Cup group stage. That'll miss first pitch. Played for Team USA, a team that dominated up in Rockford. She was the MVP and the most outstanding player of that group stage play. Here comes the next pitch. It's upstairs. Throw down to first base. Trying to check that runner, Davis. She's ready to use some speed. We mentioned Eric Young is the manager, and he holds the stolen base record, career stolen base record for the Rockies. So he's going to get these athletes running here. No doubt at all. Checking the defense, seeing, Kim's move over too. So you got to start that right away and establish.
And I like seeing the patience there from Lansdale. You can tell that she's been seeing the ball really well. It'd be so easy to get anxious right now, but instead she's way ahead in the count 3-0.
She has the bright pink spikes. There's a strike delivered by Kim. So as the sun will start to set here, we have cloudy skies, some dribble. There's a dribbler that's going down the third base line. It will go foul and return Lansdale back to the box. She had a grand slam. Team USA just racked up the home runs. Same, we've got 290 down the lines, 310 in the gaps, and 330 straight away. These fences went up. They're the regulation fences in international play. We're playing by those rules too here in the WPBL. And so you can see the new fences that are just slightly in, and that's why the girls and the athletes here want to use those those metal bats. She'll take a look, and that'll be waved, and she'll head to first base with the free pass. So 2 on right now for the Queens, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jamie McKay.
I think sometimes walks are underrated, and that's something that she also racked up during the World Cup as well for Lansdell. She had 4 walks, and she was hit by a pitch. So getting on base, making something happen to set things up for your teammates coming up behind you, that's also part of her game.
They always say walk's as good as a hit, and it is. You get on base, there's 2 on right now. None away, first pitch here to the righty is a strike. McKay from Laguna Beach. Batting in the 3rd slot for the Queens. They've got their black tops, black pants, gold stripe going down their pants, and the white and gold that do highlight along with the black. You can see the white lettering across the chest, white numbers on the back, and white with the last names. I love the Queens logo too. Just, all of these logos here in the WPBL, that as far as having that logo and the diamonds, the baseball diamonds in gold above the Q for Queens, and that's signifying a crown. And I thought that is really clever right there.
This league did such a great job of honoring those who came before. Every single team is named from an iconic trailblazing woman. And for the Queens in particular, where that name comes from, Lizzie Murphy, the Queen of the Diamond, the Queen of Baseball. She was the first woman to play versus major league players. And she's now represented by the Queens here in a history-making day.
There's a fly ball. It will be to the right side, going after it right by the line. Bringing it in is Yatani. She'll throw in. Nobody will run, so the runners stay at their stations. 1 away. That'll bring up the first baseman, Sarah Edwards.
The first out of the WPBL that we have witnessed.
So Edwards, the first baseman, she is actually she was playing softball in Italy. She plays all around the world. And it was hard, to pull her away, that her team didn't want her to leave. But she said, I gotta go make history. Strike delivered. So righty-lefty matchup here.
And that is something that is strategic for Edwards. She can hit from both sides. A switch hitter has the opportunity to make that decision. Lefty on righty matchup, a little more advantageous for her.
Next pitch, that'll miss away. Kim, 25 years old, from Seoul, South Korea. We talked about how she's just been inspiring players. Rules have been changed because of her. 2-way player. We mentioned how she hit a home run in a men's league. Strike delivered. I'm sure there's some nerves too. It's not easy being a pitcher up there and starting a game like this off, an historic game. You just got to kind of calm down, center yourself, and just look at that mitt and deliver the pitch. And she does right there. That one is really close, just missing inside. Wind starting to pick up, blowing left to right here.
And that's the thing, too, about an outdoor sport, which is what we chose. But take a look at this pitch. Just misses the zone.
What a beauty.
Like to see Benitez trying to work for her pitcher, too.
That'll hit into the screen right there. Yeah, that's a pretty one. Home plate umpire today is Kelly Elliott-Dine. She's an umpire in the Banana Ball. I think the first female umpire for Banana Ball.
And an all-female crew here today working.
The crowd early getting into it, starting to cheer. There's a tapper, that's foul. They're saying, let's go Queens. That'll be fun too for the team, or for the the teams, of course, but for the fans to start picking their favorite teams. I think they did preseason probably, but then once, these games start, they're going to be like, and really kind of find their favorites.
Well, that merchandise line was wrapped around the stadium long before first pitch.
Runner going, and that ball is going foul, so that'll bring everybody back to their stations. It went all the way back to the clubhouses. So it's starting right where you come in behind us in the press box straight away by the tickets. That line was kind of starting right from the very start there, but everyone had to walk all the way back on the left side behind the stands to the clubhouse area, and it was the longest line here. I wonder if it still is. I guess, even though that line was long, to get merchandise, that there was enough rain delay that everybody probably got what they wanted and could get in the stands. Maybe that was the idea.
And all that to say, run, don't walk to get your merch if you're planning on being here.
Swing and a miss, and there's the first strikeout in WPBL history.
Rakyun Kim will always have that moment as recording that first strikeout. Well placed. It was a 2-2 count too, so just bringing it right, not afraid to attack the zone. True competitors that we have in this league.
That we do. The left fielder Maggie Fox will step up to the plate. 4-time USA National Women's Team selectee. She plays softball at Brown University. Kim taking a look at the runner. Monet at second, delivers. That's a fastball. It'll get and drop off the mitt of Benitez. She'll throw down to third base. It'll bounce off the glove of the third baseman and in safe. It's a double steal.
We talked about the speed that this Queens roster has and the aggressiveness right there, reading that in the dirt. The head first slide into third, and a nice job over there at third to keep it in front. Don't let that get past you, because then that gives up a run. But now a couple in scoring position.
Here comes the pitch. This one's hit hard on the line, and that'll be a base hit into center. Here comes one run. Ashton's coming in for make it run number 2. And the Queens are on the board. Lansdale is pumping her fist. And there's some more first right here. History just keeps being made.
Goosebumps. First hit, first RBI is coming in and getting your team on the board early to give them the lead. You can't ask for much more than that from Maggie Fox. And she sees this pitch all the way in, waits on it really nicely, gets extended. Able to get out of the infield to bring in not 1, but 2, and then that speed coming in handy, moving them up. That's why 2 came in instead of just 1, because of that aggressiveness.
Michelle Roche at the plate, the right fielder. So key to be able to move those runners over and be aggressive on the base pass. That'll miss away. And then as we talked, walk good as a hit, that hurt him too, because 2 runs, not just 1 run now here for the Queens. I bet manager Eric Young is high-fiving his, players right there and saying, yeah, use that speed. Next pitch, there goes the runner. There's a throw down to second, and it's off the mark. So safe at second base is Fox.
Maggie's quick like a fox. You could see it right there. She wasn't satisfied with just getting the first hit, the first couple of RBIs. She had to get the first stolen base as well.
Two nothing here for the Queens. They're on top. Runner at second. Pitch, swing and a miss.